Good evening and welcome to Inside Jefferson Football, your weekly look inside the Jaguar football program. My name is Josh Powers. Coming up on this episode, we will recap homecoming against Robbinsdale Armstrong. We will also look ahead to a road challenge for the Jaguars coming up at the end of the week. In our Where Are They Now segment, we'll catch up with former Jaguar Mike Christopher, and we'll talk to a couple of the current Jaguars in our player segment in Isaiah Watts and Matt Thompson. But first, the head coach. Homecoming wasn't at the end of the game a happy homecoming, but a great atmosphere. You were playing against a tough 6A team in Armstrong. You did some good things, but at the end of the day, namely one guy was their key. Breitbach, their quarterback, was tough for you guys to handle.
Yeah, he was, we knew going in that he was going to be tough. Faced him last year. He's just a good runner, and we seemed to be slipping around. He didn't seem to be slipping around much, but he with a big line in front of him, you just can't make mistakes against a good zone read quarterback. Every time we made just a little mistake, he just made us pay for it, and that's what good players do. But you're right, we had a lot of good things happen throughout the game, especially defensively in that first half, and got going on the ground in the second half with Ethan rolling a little bit. So a lot of good things that we can keep building on. We just have to keep working on eliminating those mistakes.
Let's take a look at some of the positive highlights here from you guys. It was a close game throughout the first half. Your defense was the reason why. Here you get a big pick from Caden Osmondson.
Yeah, this is a little stunt we run where both ends pinch in. The middle linebacker will kind of sit, let the quarterback roll out, and then blitz. And as he did that, you can see the ends pinch. Here comes. You'll see C.J. Hayes coming around, force a bad throw, and Caden, we were all over Caden. He should have taken that one to the house. He had a sled on his back or something, but it was a good play from the guys up front, and Caden was in proper position. Makes a nice catch. That ball seemed to be in the air forever, so we were a little worried, but he makes a nice play.
On special teams coach, Manny made a big play to really get your offense going. It had been a little bit of a struggle for both teams to this point. They had scored, but this is a nice way to get momentum back on your side.
Yeah, we were a little mad at Maddie right about there. Like, okay, catch the ball, and then picking it up at the one. And we get some nice blocks, so you can see kind of a pile there. And then, we just needed one more block, and the Armstrong player does a nice job of chasing Manny down. But again, opportunity we needed to take advantage of. If you see from this angle, the blocks weren't necessarily all legal, but they were. Well, and also they were good right about there.
One of your guys and the kicker start kind of fighting a little bit here.
Yeah, a little fighting. That's sophomore Seth Krakow, and we got there, and Seth, you got to stay in the fight a little bit longer.
Yeah, he almost needed to distract him a little, like another half second, and it would have been a 4-point difference for you because you guys end up with a Alaska field goal, which was not a guarantee on a muddy night, so he did a nice job there. But then your offense got going in the second half, Coach. Ethan Rowland, you mentioned him, close to over 70 yards rushing, and then he gets the 1-yard touchdown, the first for him.
Yeah, we just kind of kept rolling that same play. He was getting 3-4 yards at a pop, and stay with it. Roosevelt Cage got a little banged up, so he wasn't in. And Ethan, again, is a very good north-south runner. And he put his head down and was strong going to the goal line, and we were happy for him to score a touchdown.
And this was a nice play, too, to kind of end the scoring for you guys. Isaiah, this is that little roll out, and then the tight end come back around, and he puts a perfect ball right in the bucket.
Well, that's one that I came up with, and that we crossed Pierce. Opong's on the left. You see Caden on the right. Caden's supposed to, in man coverage, rub his guy off on Pierce right there, but Caden runs right into Pierce. It's one of those things you just can't make up.
But he was open, and that wide open.
That's how good of a play it was, Josh.
There you go.
That those two can run square into each other, and it still works. So, yeah, it was it worked out well, and we'll have to get better at that one.
All right, so let's talk about homecoming a little bit. Just describe the atmosphere. I know it wasn't the best weather night. That may have kept a little bit of the atmosphere down, but all in all, just another great Jefferson homecoming. Bring back a lot of memories.
Yeah, all week is a good week. I applaud our administration of really pumping up the homecoming at school. A lot of activities from powder puff football with the girls playing to powder buff volleyball, which was new. I think that the managers talked about it last week. That was something new, and it was just a great atmosphere all week. Homecoming is something that's special every year at high schools all over the place, and it's just a fun time. It really is what high school is all about, and enjoying the atmosphere, enjoying the football game. Wish the weather would have been better, but that's okay. We had a nice crowd out there, and we appreciate, as a football program, we appreciate the support of our super fans, Jaguar super fans that come out every week.
Well, and speaking of the weather, it seems to be raining here every day. I know it's probably affecting teams similarly because everyone's from the same area pretty much.
Yeah.
But how has the weather the last couple weeks affected practice and stuff like that?
Well, we've kind of been dodging rain. Today we just had to go out, and our soccer team was playing a section playoff game on the turf, so we had to be up on the grass in the rain. We shortened up practice, but the fields are just, they're a wreck right now. And so we kind of muddled through a kind of a shortened version of the practice today, more film, and then the kids lifted today. But yeah, it's we're running out of ideas to be creative here with practice.
Is there anything you do that you're going to do differently when on Friday night to take a look at their field and see? Do you bring extra cleats or anything like that?
No, it's we'll be on turf tomorrow. Be able to practice on turf tomorrow, which will be nice. And they have a very nice field, so footing shouldn't be a problem. We'll bring the kind of some extra towels and tarps and so on in case it rains. I haven't even looked at the forecast at this point because who knows what it'll be like. But again, we don't want to stress it too much because we need to focus on what we're doing. We practice with wet balls all day today, so we got kind of used to that. But now it's just, we got to do things right, and from the blocking, tackling, all that kind of perspective.
And how important is it to? I know you're not looking at specific opponents coming up, but playoffs is about 2 weeks away, so that's coming up quickly. How focused are you guys on getting ready for the playoffs, whoever the opponent might end up being?
Yeah, the unique thing is Chaska's right above us in our district, so it's a district game and also a section game, and so we want to play well. We just want to play well no matter who it is. But, Chaska has become kind of a nice rivalry. We've had some really good games with them over the past couple of years. We expect this Friday to be another good game with them. But you can't help but, with playoffs just a couple weeks away, to look a little bit. And it really looks like it'd be Chaska again, whether it be at Bloomington Stadium or out at Chaska. This Friday night we'll have a lot to say. And, we want to play at home on our field, and hopefully it hasn't floated away. But we want another game at Bloomington Stadium. I know the seniors do. It's we've talked about that field and how special it is to our kids, and it means a lot to have one more game there.
Well, we'll talk about that game coming up on Friday against Chaska in our final segment.
Sounds good.
All right, coming up next, the players segment. We'll talk to Matt Thompson and Isaiah Watts on Inside Jefferson Football.
My children have been in BA for about 3 years. My children really just love being a part of the competition. It's a fun atmosphere, and they love playing with their friends. There's a lot of great volunteers. There's a lot of great support on the sidelines from the coaches and the parents. For me, when I think of BA, what comes to mind is some of my own experiences. I had a chance to be part of BA when I was growing up as a youth myself. So it's a lot of fun for me to have my kids be a part of the program, have that same experience, have that chance to play different sports, try things out in a fun atmosphere with some competition, but learn some of the skills and just be a part of the game. BA has changed over the years. They've certainly added a lot more options for sports and the probably different ages that you can play. But the thing that hasn't changed is the volunteers and just the spirit of bringing the community together to be a part of something active, be a part of something organized, and a great way to play sports.
BA is here to stay. Come, sign up, and play.
Welcome back on Inside Jefferson Football. The Jaguars hit the road for the first time in a month. They will take on Chaska this Friday night out in Chaska. Back for our players segment, joined by Matt Thompson and Isaiah Watts. Thanks a lot, guys, for being on the show.
Thank you.
Matt, a big night for you defensively. Coach Carlson was impressed with your tackle numbers. I think it was something around like 8 tackles.
Yeah.
What led into the big night for you defensively against a very good team last week?
Well, I knew they were going to run a lot of read options, so I knew I had to fill and make a lot of plays on the quarterback, so that's what I did.
not only were you on the field defensively, but obviously also offensively as a wide receiver spot. What is it like to play both ways and be involved in so many of the plays in the course of a 3-hour game?
Well, I actually love it, being on the field all the time, catching passes and making plays on defense. It's a lot of fun.
Isaiah, what do you like about throwing the ball to Matt when he's out wide for you guys?
Matt works hard. He runs his routes as hard as he can, makes good cuts, and he has good hands, so it makes it a good target.
You've had an interesting year, Isaiah, because you started this season at quarterback. You basically willed the team to win in that against the Orono opponent in Week 1, but then you were hurt. What was it like when you went down, and what were those feelings like when you didn't know when you were able to come back?
Well, actually in the first game when I did hurt my knee, I heard it pop when I went down, but I didn't know how serious it was because I've never had a lower body injury before. So I played through that, and it just started hurting more and more after the game. So I went to go talk to the trainer, and then I went to TCO the day after, and that's when I found out that I tore my MCL and that it could have been my last game of the season. And that was devastating. I felt my heart drop when they told me that. But it's been a great healing process. I might have rushed it a little bit too soon. It's still swollen, but hopefully I'll be able to play again.
Well, you have been in the last couple of games, so what was it like when you first thought your Jaguar football career was over, and now you're back in the midst, getting back on the field, making key contributions?
Well, it was pretty much like when I went to get my checkup, the doctor said that I would be able to play again because it was healing really well, and I didn't need surgery, and I felt like I got a heart again. Like, it made me really happy that I was able to play. I knew I had to be more conservative and more cautious, taking hits and all that stuff, getting rid of the ball, just making it smarter mentally versus using my body.
Matt, football is not your only sport. Talk about what you do in the spring at Jefferson.
Well, I play baseball. I've played it my whole life, just like football, and I also play a lot in the off season too. So.
What position do you play for the Jaguars?
I play outfield and I pitch also.
What is it like to play for the coaching legend that is Jim Guess? He's been there since I was at Jefferson.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I love playing for him. He's a really good coach. So.
Isaiah, football not your only sport. We're going to see you on the basketball court this winter. What can we expect from this version of the Jaguars?
This year, we have a lot of height with the basketball team, and I think we'll have a really good team. A lot of underclassmen, but I think we'll be good.
Matt, what are some of the goals you guys, obviously this is week 7 already of the season.
Yeah.
It's coming to a close quickly, but you got playoffs coming up. What are some of the things that you're looking ahead to in these next few weeks to end the season, how you guys want to end it?
Yeah, hopefully, get guys healthy again. That's the number one goal, and stay healthy. Winning a few games, winning the Chaska game will help. Hopefully get a home section game and then go from there.
Isaiah, what are some things you're looking forward to for the rest of the year? We've only been about a month into school here. You're in school through the end of May. So what are some things that you're looking forward to as your last year of Jefferson comes to a close?
I'm looking forward to more outside of school, is just making a better connection with people in my grade, just to make a connection for the rest of my life.
Matt, you're only a junior, so you're coming back next year.
Yeah.
You're going to be a transitional kind of from a guy that's really making some big contributions this year, but next year you're going to be kind of a leader on the team, along with Manny as a wide receiver. And what do you think that's going to be like for you?
Should be fun, helping out the younger guys, telling them what to do, making sure they're doing the right thing, getting in the weight room, all that.
How important is that weight room for both of you guys? Isaiah, how about you?
Very. It's helped a lot, and I know that's something that Coach Carlson preaches, making sure you're getting in the weight room. And over the summer we have our competition, because the season is in the off season. That's the weight room.
How about you, Matt?
I agree. I mean, it's important. It helps with injuries. Keeps you sharp. Helps a lot, especially on defense. When okay, I can make this play. I'm
that
strong
big
enough.
running back's coming at you. You got to have that strength.
You got to trust yourself. Yeah, it helps a lot. So.
All right, guys, it's time to play our initials game, Bloomington version. So here's how it's going to work. Isaiah, you were here last year for this game, and you were not successful, but you get another chance here. Matt, this is your first time. So I'm going to give you an initial of a person, place, or thing, followed by a series of 6 clues. At any point, if you think you know what the clues mean, for what the initials are, buzz in by saying your name, and if you win, you get bragging rights over the other guy. All right?
Yeah, right.
So here we go. The initials this week are BS. BS. Clue number 1, 6.6 acres in area. Clue number 2, first used in 1965.
1965.
Clue number 3, located at 8900 Queen Avenue South. Again, our initials are BS. Clue number 4. This is technically on the Kennedy side of Bloomington.
Oh, Matt.
Matt.
Bloomington Stadium.
Bloomington Stadium is correct. Opened a new press box last year and home to Jaguar and Kennedy football. Bloomington Stadium. Matt, you got the bragging rights. Just a junior. Maybe you'll be back next year to defend your initials title. Who knows? Guys, best of luck on Friday and the rest of the way. Thanks a lot for doing this.
Thank you.
All right, coming up next is our Where Are They Now segment. We'll talk to 2000 grad Mike Christopher on Inside Jefferson Football.
Okay, let's set the facts straight. Almost a quarter of car crashes involve cell phones. When you text and drive, you look away at least 5 seconds. At 55 miles per hour, that's the length of a football field. Time out. It's illegal in 39 states to text and drive, but you're in danger everywhere when you don't focus. So keep your eyes on the road and arrive alive. No text, no wrecks. So don't text and drive.
Back on Inside Jefferson Football, the Jaguars take to the road a game against Chaska Friday night out in Chaska at 7 o'clock, an important game for the Jaguars. Time for their Where Are They Now segment, joined by 2000 grad Mike Christopher. Mike, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me, Josh.
We will go back to your high school days in a minute at Jefferson, but talk about your life after high school, beginning with your college days down in St. Peter.
Sure. After high school, I went on and played football at Gustavus down in St. Peter. I played offensive line for 4 years, all 4 years from 2000 to 2004. Majored in communications. Was kind of a hybrid offensive lineman, played a little tackle, a little guard, both sides of the ball. So got a good experience, had fun with that. And from there, I graduated and have been working for the last 14 years in dental medical sales.
So you've stayed around in the Twin Cities, am I correct?
I have. I actually moved around a little bit. I moved to Iowa for a few years and lived in Chicago for another few years.
Okay.
And then came full circle and came back to Minneapolis, live in Shakopee now with my wife and 2 children.
What made you go from the major of communications to being in the, I mean, there's a little bit of connection, but being in the dental sales industry, how did you come across that career path?
Quite frankly, just needed a job. Just, I think like every college grad, unless there's some type of specialty, just getting your foot in the door, getting some experience, and just stuck around because I've really enjoyed it. And
I know you told me before the show, you've got a wife and a couple of kids, so talk about that family of yours.
I do have a wife, Kari. We've been married for 7 years, and we have a 4-year-old son, Cullen, and a 9-month-old Henry. So we are very busy, not a lot of downtime.
And you do the same thing as I do. I mix up my kids' names all the time, and I have a boy and a girl, so it should be easier.
I think it's only going to get worse as I get older too. So,
all right. Well, let's go back to your high school days. Your 2000 grad, same as my wife, by the way, at Jefferson. But talk about your playing days on the gridiron for the Jaguars.
You know, it was probably pretty cliche, but it was some of the most fun I've ever had in my life. The friendships I formed, I just came back from a weekend out of town with some friends of mine that, we've stayed close even through high school, or since high school. So it's the friendships we formed was great, and it was just great to play the game of football.
Talk about what you did for the Jaguars, both offensively and defensively, because much like Matt, who we just talked to, you were a two-way guy too.
I played defensive end on defense and then tight end also. So I played a little special teams junior year, but really just stuck with tight end and defensive end.
We're going to take a look at your only Jaguar touchdown right here. What do you remember about this moment?
I remember thinking and watching it knowing that I'm not the fastest guy in Jefferson history. That's for sure.
Luckily, you got a little bit of a help from a partial block.
I did,
there
and if I'm not mistaken, you won't show it again, but I think I almost got tackled by their nose tackle. So that's pretty embarrassing. But, you know, it's a good highlight to have, and hopefully one my kids won't be too embarrassed of.
Now, did they bring you over to the sideline like Linval Joseph on Sunday, and when he rumbled all the way down the field, hooked you up with some oxygen right after your
I probably
big
could have
run?
used it, but no, they didn't. They didn't do that. They didn't want to embarrass me too bad. But I do remember watching film on that the next day, and there was quite a few chuckles coming from the coaches.
Hey, but you made it all the way to the end zone, so
I
that's
did.
what counts, right?
I did make it. So.
What is that your favorite memory from your football playing days, or were you more some memorable defensive plays that you made?
From individual standpoint, I'd say that was obviously a big thrill. Anytime you were able to get a sack or tackle for a loss, make a big play, that was fun. I know as a team, we still talk about it. One of our favorite members was beating Lakeville at homecoming. I think they were ranked 2 or 3 in the state, top 5 for sure, and we had no business in that game, and we ended up beating them. And it was a big thrill for all of us and for our school at the time.
How did playing football at Jefferson help prepare you, not only because you played football at the Division III level too in college, but for the rest of your life?
Yeah, I think team sports in general, football for me, really helped teach you how to get over adversity and challenges that come your way in life. We know it, that life isn't easy. And it's going to throw you curveballs from time to time, and I think that challenge of team sports and being able to rely on other people really helps you develop as you go on into adulthood.
What do you remember about Coach C from back in your playing days on the Jaguar staff?
A lot of yelling. No, I'm kidding. No, he taught us quite a bit, specifically defensive end. He was our defensive end coach. So we learned all the slingshot, wrong arm, all those things that he was intense, but it was a good teacher. Take a lot of those lessons that I've learned and have actually used them, teaching my own young son football and everything. So.
All right, well, Mike, it was great to catch up with you. Glad you and your family are doing well, and wish you the best down the road.
Thanks, Josh.
All right, final segment coming up, talking Chaska, the opponent on Friday, with the head coach on Inside Jefferson Football.
So proud that I served my country. I can't imagine not having Wounded Warrior Project in my life. We need Wounded Warrior Project to help us in our ongoing recovery. My family learned that they weren't in this by themselves. Wounded Warrior Project definitely saves lives. I am living proof that this organization works.
Back on Inside Jefferson Football, the Jaguars and Chaska in a key district game on Friday night. Back with the head coach to preview that. Just saw a little PSA for the Wounded Warrior Project. I understand you got some updated totals from a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we just got the totals in this week. We're very close to about $2,000 overall throughout the week. So we want to thank everybody who bought T-shirts throughout the last couple of weeks and made donations and contributed at the game. We really appreciate it. As you can see in the PSA, it goes to a great cause, and we're thankful for everything the people did to help us do that. Also want to mention with Mike, who was just saying, I've mellowed since then. Josh, as you know, you've watched me on the sidelines. I'm calm pretty much all the time. So it's
never get flustered or worked up at all.
No, gosh, no. I'm older now, older and wiser. So.
All right, big game on Friday. It's a district game with Chaska. It could be a possible opponent, just like last year for you guys in the first round. So it's kind of it comes at basically the same time of the year as last year's game. So it's kind of could be a playoff preview, but it's an important game for you guys.
Yeah, again, like I said earlier, we're working on us right now on doing some things, and As far as an opponent goes, defensively, they're a 3-4 defense, pretty soft in the defensive backfield as far as depth play. Defensively, we're going to see a lot of the same things we've been seeing. Big offensive line, zone read quarterback who'd rather run than throw, but he's very good at it. He's quick, he's shifty. They have some big running backs, so again, we have to be disciplined, no mistakes, turn the ball over. We're getting there with that as a defense. We're getting some of the ball back a few times. We need to do more of that, and then we have to take care of the football. We just can't. I think we had 4 picks, 4 interceptions in the first half, and that's hard on a defense, and especially when we're smaller and have to play fast, that can wear on us.
Quickly, a couple of highlights here from Chaska. Just like you guys, they have a field goal kicker that can do some things in his game. It's nice to, as you know, with John, it's nice to have a reliable option.
Yeah, we feel comfortable with the John. See, that's not even close how far he kicks that. But same way with John, we feel good most nights on a still night kicking a 40-yarder. Depending on how he's feeling, he'll always tell us. And with John, it's always precise. I can do 41 or I can do 42. Well, okay. So it's a comfort to have a good kicker.
All right, Coach. Well, weird to see you on the road on Friday night, but best of luck, and then we'll catch up with you next week before the last home game of the season.
Yeah, it's coming fast.
All right, that'll do it for this week's Inside Jefferson Football. Again, the Jaguars on the road against Chaska on Friday night. For our entire crew, this is Josh Powers saying so long from our studios.